The hype train for Garrett Greene, it continues. On this episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, we talk about your quarterback, my quarterback, Garrett effing Greene, being on the cover of some magazines. They do that with a lot of players, but if you look at the covers he is on, he's with some pretty elite company as well. The Garrett Greene hype train continues, man, and I'm excited about it. And since there's not much else to talk about on this Saturday, I figured we talk about our quarterback, look at some stuff about him, and really get into depth a little bit about what's his season really going to look like and how is he going to capitalize on what was such a good season last year with over 70% of his returning production on offense returning. Stay tuned for that. But until we get there, stick with me for a minute, guys, while we obviously pay the bills around here. 2 more days with the Dutch Miller ad, and then we'll get on with the Magic Shine ad as well. This episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock, and that's every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across the state of West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing. Only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you. And today's video is brought to you by Magic Shine Auto Spa in 10, Morgantown, West Virginia. At Magic Shine, your vehicle's care is their top priority. They use only the highest quality products to ensure your car not only looks its best, but is also protected and maintained with the utmost care. From window tinting with top-of-the-line Max Pro Tint or protective ceramic coatings from Diamond Protect, they've got you covered all the way around. Drive in today and experience the difference at Magic Shine Auto Spa and Tint, where your car shines like new. Shine on, Morgantown. Shine on. All right, guys. What's up, Silas? What's up, Tyler Cobb, Jacob Yoho, Daniel Sargent, Michelle Weintraub? What's up? Good to see you guys in here early. Those of you on X watching this live, I welcome you in as well, which there are 3 on Hoops from the Hills and 15 on Mountaineer Paul. So welcome, guys. Welcome in. Certainly don't mind seeing that at all. Don't mind seeing that at all, Paul, as my dad used to say. My dad had a real thick country accent. Hey, Paul. That's how he said my name. Paul. Hey, Paul. One time I misplaced his sawzall, and my dad came thumping up the stairs, and he said, Paul, where is my sawzall? Me and my friends joked about it for years, man. The way he said, Paul and sawzall. I'm in a pretty goofy mood tonight. I know you guys don't come here for the comedy act, so let's talk about Garrett Greene here. I'm going to flip over to, I don't know where I saw this. I know it was on X somewhere. Let's see. Let me look it up really quick. All right. Okay. All right. Appreciate you guys for joining in. Like I said, what's up, Sybil Mark? What's up, 10 Bells? Over Pitt and Virginia Tech. I like that, Daniel Sargent. Is there any more video on Garrett Greene for the Manning camp other than the one pass on X? I would like to see shorter passes. No, Charles, that's the only one so far. It's so funny. We all dig into that stuff. All right, so not seeing it on X right away anyway. Somebody shared it earlier. Let me see if I can just Google it really quick. I've looked at it myself. All right. Looking. Sorry, guys. I should have been a little more prepared for this, I guess, huh? The two, which I mean, they were in my thumbnail for the video. If you didn't get to see that, but he's on the Athlon sports cover, and he's on the Lindy sports cover, which are two really big deals when it comes to preseason publications. Somebody find me a link on X or something for that, because it's kind of hard for me to focus on both at the same time. Let me just type in Garrett Greene's name. I figured it would have just come right up because so many people were talking about it. Well, if you haven't seen the pass from the Matting Academy yet, we'll go ahead and check that out really quick. All right, so here is – now look at the list of people that Garrett Greene is in. He's with all these cats today or yesterday, whenever this was, earlier today. You want to talk about a list? How about this? This is the list of quarterbacks that Garrett Greene is hip to hip with. Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Riley Leonard, Dylan Gabriel, Jackson Arnold, Brady Cook, Cade Klubnik, and Garrett Greene. And look, guys, I love Garrett Greene. I really do. But, I mean, look at this list. What a list, man. You know, I like him better than Cade Klubnik. I like him better than Jackson Arnold and Riley Leonard, although it's close. But then, I mean, you look at the rest of the names on this list. This is the elite of the elite, right? And Garrett's right there with them. And he's there for a reason, guys. I mean, what the heck? This is amazing, man. You know, so let's get to the Garrett Greene pass. I believe it's at the one. It's way down. It's deeper into it. It's, I want to say 125-ish. Yeah, here he is next.
All the way to West Virginia. Nice ball.
And that's it. He's literally the last one, which is probably being alphabetical, I'm guessing. But, yeah, so that's pretty cool. You know, the Passing Academy. Oh, look at this right here. Top 5 college football playoff sleepers from Paul Catalina. Wait a second. Didn't Paul Catalina have us not even ranked or something just a couple weeks ago? I'm telling you what, man, he's got us number 2 here as sleepers. He can't seem to make his mind up on us, huh? But yeah, so pretty cool though, man. Man, what a season he's probably going to have, right? Garrett Greene promises to compare to WV greatness. Senior season promises to compare to. Oh yeah, it's going to definitely compare. It has to. It has to. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm not seeing these magazine covers, but if you look at my thumbnail, which I'm sure you did before you clicked on this, you'll see he was on those 2 magazine covers. It's hard. I'm having a hard time finding them now, which is wild. But that's okay, because that was just the catalyst for what I wanted to talk about anyway. Oh, I didn't even. Sorry, I was on the other page. I didn't even see that, Jacob. Jacob Yoho. Q question: how do I rig the system to win the helmet? Hello, just kidding. And that's a good. That's a good segue into that. I might as well go ahead and promote it. Also have something else to promote as well. I am teaming up with Boyce and Morgantown, guys, and I know some of you are going to look at me sideways on that, but it's for a very good reason. It really, truly is. You have seen that he is giving away 2 tickets to the Penn State game. So before anybody complains, just know that. It's going to be announced on this channel, the winner. He's doing it to help me in this channel, and I appreciate that. So give Voice of Morgantown a little bit of leeway sometimes, guys, because he's not all bad. I promise. I know the takes that he has for some of you. It's just you just can't get over it, and some of you just are at a place where you can't forgive him for some things, and I understand that. But I've had a lot of good interactions with Brad, and I've said that over the years. He's never done me wrong personally. And yes, he has hot takes about West Virginia sports, but I'm not going to hate somebody over just that. Just consider that he may be playing a character. I'm not saying that he is or isn't, but that said, he's given away 2 tickets on for the Penn State game. And so to help me, he's going to let me announce it on this channel. So, I would be stupid to not do that. So, it's all risk, or it's very little risk and a lot of reward for that. So, I'm not exactly sure how you win. I guess you'll have to look at his page, which I guess we can look and see really quick. All right. Let's see. I think let's see. We got 2 free tickets to the biggest WV home game in years. Like, comment, and share to enter the drawing to win. So that's really all it is. I mean, that's pretty easy, guys. That's easier what I'm asking you to do for the helmet. Are you serious, Derek? Surely you can't be serious over that. I mean, if you are, you are, man. I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm me, like I'm doing this alongside with, he's basically trying to help me grow the channel. So, I mean, if you can't support that, then I guess you can't, man. But I'm not gonna say anything out of the way about it, because everybody has a right to their own opinion with things. So just know that it's going to help me as well. All right. Tyler Cobb, if you haven't seen the video from 365 Sports as us being a sleeper, go watch it. It was a good video. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love the 365 Sports guys, by the way. I've had all of them on my show except for Smokey. Every time I go to try to get Smokey, he always sends me to Paul or Craig. So that's just how it works, I guess, for him being the leader over there. So obviously the Garrett Greene mini helmet giveaway is coming up as well, guys. And if you're not sure what that is, the way you win this is there's Garrett Greene's beautiful signature in gold on the helmet. If you want to win that, you subscribe to Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, which is right there. You subscribe to Hoops from the Hills, which is right there. Well, right there and right there. And then you go to forums and sign up on the forums, guys, under general. And then go to the post right here, Eat Shit Piss, and then type in Eat Shit Pit and your name. So that's it. Subscribe to both channels and all that. So we're going to be giving the giveaway on the 1st, which is in a couple of days. I imagine most everybody that's signed up has probably signed up by now, but if you're not, now's a good time to do it. We are not playing favorites. We are going to use a randomizer, and hopefully the best person, the person that wants it, needs it, whatever you want to say, wins. So that's about it, really, on that. Hopefully somebody that really wants it, needs it, wins it, though, seriously. What's up, Timothy Green? Glad to see you back from Ritchie County. Tyler Cobb said, Russell, our schedule is why we are a sleeper. If we can pull off some major wins against teams like Penn State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, we can really boost our national ranking. Yeah, I think so. But, I just, the pessimistic side of me wants to say they'll find a way to disparage us, but like if we win all those games, unless all those teams ends up just sucking, which I mean is possible. I don't see it happening at all, but I mean, could maybe, Kansas fall apart this year or Oklahoma State, possibly. And then maybe it's not as good looking as what you say there. Or maybe Penn State's not as – maybe they fold under the pressure. Then that's our biggest win down the tubes. But, yeah, if those two – because we need those teams to be good, right, for that to work. At least hanging around the rankings. We need them all to be ranked, really, for us to guarantee. It's just the way things are now. So, talking about Garrett Greene, and I love this question from Timothy Green. I have a question. Do you think it's possible for Garrett Greene to make it in the NFL? As of right now, I would say he would be a long shot. He is not – he's not shown yet the ability to do everything a quarterback needs to do from the pocket. He can throw it deep, and I do think he throws it well. But he would be very small for the NFL. And the other thing is, it's not really about the height as much as it is about he hasn't played a full season yet without being nicked up from being hit. And that's probably the biggest worry a team would have for Garrett Greene is could he stay healthy at his size in the NFL where the hits are even worse because of the way he runs. I truly think Garrett Greene could be the best quarterback in the country this year and not get drafted. But it's because some players are good college quarterbacks, right? Look at Tim Tebow. While I think he could have had a little better pro career had they stuck with him in the Broncos, although he wasn't a great passer. I'm with Skip Bayless. He just won. I don't know exactly how or why, but he willed that team to win some games. Garrett Greene's very similar to that, but a better passer. Garrett could fix all that this year if he can fix everything in the pocket, get that completion percentage up to the mid-60s, maybe even 70s would be great. And then you have to wait and see. It would still be a long shot, Timothy, in my personal opinion, for Garrett because of the size. He's just, you look at Russell Wilson, and first of all, he's got a little bit bigger arm than Garrett, but he's built so much differently. He's built like a running back, truthfully, and that's why he's had such a long career. Garrett's not built to take a lot of punishment. So could he be a Julian Edelman? I think he could. I think you could put him in the slot and maybe have him catch balls, but that's, could you kick it off to him? Could you punt it to him? I mean, I think he would have a shot in those scenarios. More likely, I think where you'll see Garrett Greene is probably maybe the USFL or the Canadian League, maybe something like that. But I wouldn't count him out, and I won't count him out. But the odds are against him during the moment to go pro in the NFL just because it's different. It's not, they're not asked to do the same thing. So that's my 2 cents on him going pro, but it's nothing to do with how awesome I think he is and all that stuff. So what's up, John? Robert Gurney. Good to see everybody in here today. What's up, Krista? Jada K. What's up, man? Stephen Keel, Leo Cole, Charles Peterson, Pokemon Kid Entertainment. Nice to see you. All right. Let's see. We do have 7 home games. That's right, Leo. All right. Somebody asked me a question about Mark Kellogg. Let's see. There it is right there. Serious question. Would you ever consider getting Mark Kellogg or any women's players on for a live on Hoops from the Hills? I absolutely would. I actually am planning to cover them this year, and I am going to cover them this year. I have to be honest with you about, I don't know how many people are going to watch those videos, and that's the biggest worry. It's because if I did every video that I wanted to do, I wouldn't get very many views, because what interests me are like deep diving into recruiting and studying tape of players that nobody's heard of, and like sometimes I'll find a player in the state of West Virginia or around somebody they're recruiting and get really excited about them and want to talk about it, but I feel like nobody would watch, with the women, it's similar in that there has to be a little bit of a payoff for me. Like there has to be some viewership for me. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time putting out there. So now, if I had one of them on the show, I guarantee that would get views. I'm not saying that. So I would love to have Kellogg on the show. Love to have him on. I think he's awesome. You know, I would love to have any of those girls on the show. So. We lucked out, man. I don't know how we go from Don Plitzelwhite to him, but we lucked out. Pokemon Kid Entertainment with a $2 super chat. Thank you, man. I don't see a comment near it, but if you put something out there, just let me know. What's up, Drizzy? Is it football season yet? Right. All right. Does this stat line get Greene drafted? 2,750 yards passing, 65 completion percentage, and 800 rushing yards. Well, that's a good question. I think, no, I don't think he would get him drafted. He would have to have, listen, Colt Brennan threw for almost 6,000 yards or whatever it was in Hawaii, and he barely got drafted, right? Mid-round draft pick, I think he was, maybe even late. I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure Colt Brennan, I mean, obviously he wasn't a top pick. Going into Patrick Mahomes' senior year, nobody knew who he was. And point is, yards don't always mean anything. It's all about, like Josh Allen when he was at Wyoming, right? His stats didn't blow you away, right? Like he had some good years, but like, was he putting up Patrick Mahomes numbers? No. But he played on a pretty bad team at Wyoming, you know, as far as talent goes. I mean, they won some games, but he could stand in the pocket and throw it 85 yards and had a high completion from the pocket very well. And that's what the NFL game is all about at the end of the day. In college, you can manufacture a lot of yards for somebody. You can manufacture hundreds and hundreds of yards for somebody just because it's just easier in college, right? So, you know, for me, I think Garrett has to improve in what pro quarterbacks do. And I don't even know if that's his goal or not. I'm sure it is. But he's going to have to throw the ball from 15 yards and in with great accuracy. And he's going to have to take a huge jump in that department. So we'll see. I'm not ever going to count him out, but he's been working at it. We know that's what he does. But as far as work ethic goes, he's gotten better year over year. I won't write him off because I'll have to write him back. It's stupid. Yeah, I don't want to. Let's just be the second Mountaineer quarterback we've had to write back, which I've always believed in Geno. I truly was shocked that he didn't have a better career until, you know, recently in Seattle. But, like, you look at Geno at the combine or anywhere else, and you think that dude can zip it. He can throw the football. I always assumed it was the mental side of things that he just didn't get fully, right? Because that seems to be – you look at guys like Jamarcus Russell is a great example because physically he's one of the most gifted quarterbacks of all time. He had no work ethic, and he didn't have really high IQ. He played with five-star athletes at LSU and was a 260-pound phenom, but nobody knew that he had no work ethic, and they gave him over $100 million or whatever it was. Insanity. I tell you, everyone would watch LOL. Would watch LOL. You get James Franklin. I would love to get James Franklin. Look who it is. It's Sean Uphold. He's back in West Virginia for a few days. Good to see you, brother. Let's go. How many days till Penn State game? I'm jacked up and ready to go. Damn straight, man. Sean's is going to be at the game. I'm going to be at the game. I'm super excited about it. Can't wait. is like an understatement. So, by the way, I forgot to tell you that I will be in Morgantown for the Penn State game now, and I'm going to be recording somewhere. That's the plan, anyways. I don't know how hard it's going to be, but I'm going to work really hard to get on the field for this, and I don't know how it's going to work. If I have to pay or make a donation, I will. But I would love to get on the field during the pregame and just record for like 15 minutes for you guys live. That would make my that'd make my day, right? So it might have to be pre-recorded because of the Wi-Fi situation. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. But either way, man, that would be so cool. So we're going to try to make it happen. Live from Magic Shine. Well, we already got your promo in. Service sucks on game day. Yeah. Just sneak through the tunnels with the band. Yeah. Yep. Damn straight. All right. So as far as the realistic outlook for Garrett Greene this season, I've thought about this a lot, Obviously, it's going to depend on a few factors. Number one, he may have had the best pass protecting offensive line in the country last year. Top 5, easily. Top 3, easily. Nobody on the offensive line gave up more than 2 or 3 pressures, guys. So, well, actually, I think somebody gave up 7, but I think they may be gone. I can't remember without the numbers in front of me. But still, 10 pressures or less in a year is really good. Most people will take that. So Milam was at like 0. Tomas Remack was at like 2 or 3. I think Doug was at 2 or 3. Zach was at 0. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. So anyway, I don't know how Brandon Yates and Jaquay Hubbard are going to factor into this. They're definitely downgrades from the 2 guys we lost. That's not saying anything bad about those 2 players. They're also more athletic than the players we lost. Brandon Yates is like maybe twice as athletic as Zach at the center spot, but half as strong. I mean, and from what I understand, from what I was been told, is he might be the strongest guy on the line still. It's just that Zach is so strong. Like, he's probably the strongest dude on the Steelers O-line right now, right? But no, seriously, I just want to see how this offensive line comes together. I have a feeling they're going to be good. But is Garrett going to have the time he had last year when he just didn't have to worry about it? Because that might hurt his passing total. And maybe he has more in the rushing department, but also maybe he gets hurt because he just hasn't shown me. The one knock that I consistently had on Garrett Greene is that he hasn't been able to stay healthy yet. We have to be honest about this, guys. Like, take off your fandom glasses for a second and be honest about that. He has not been able to stay healthy. It's only been 1 or 2 games, but we need him out there for every single game this year playing at 100% or close to it. Even when he was hobbled, we struggled because of the way we run our offense. So we're going to need a lot of things to go right this year. Thankfully, Nico is the backup, and I think he's ready to take a next step. But we're talking about Garrett here. So for Garrett's season to go like it's supposed to, number one, the offensive line has to protect, and he has to stay healthy. That's first and foremost. He's probably going to throw it more this year, and so he's probably going to turn it over just a bit more. It's just numbers game, right? So I do think he's going to have quite a few more passes this year. Like, I'd say probably close to a third more, if I had to guess, because they just trust him more. There's more chemistry, and Neil Brown loves to throw the ball at heart. He just does. So I think Garrett's probably going to have a few more turnovers, which is fine because he's going to have more yards. But you got to hope that the completion percentage goes up because listen, they threw it deep so often last year. That plays a huge factor into why his completion percentage was so low. If you throw it 15 yards or more, half the pass plays in a game, which is about close to what they were doing, your percentages aren't going to be great unless you've got Randy Moss out there. So we lost anything close to that with the kid from Marshall that transferred in that left. And then obviously the weapons have to perform. And I think I've thought about this a lot too, and I do think Traylon Ray is ready to step up and be a number 1 or number 2 guy. And I also think Jaden Bray is going to be a number 1 or 2 guy. Justin Roberts is a wild card, no doubt. We'll see how he performs in fall camp before I get excited about him. You know, he caught 50-something passes over the last 3 years at Mississippi State. So I don't consider him a world beater, but he does have a lot of upside. He does. Cole Taylor's the least talked about person on the offense. He caught 45 balls last year, 4 touchdowns. Can he get a third more production out of him as well? I think so. I think you could look at Cole Taylor at the end of the year, and he's a guy that's got 700-800 yards and 6 to 8 touchdowns, maybe more. I think he could do something like that. And then you have to look at the other suspects. I really do wonder about a guy like, obviously, you've got Brandon Raymond, who's coming in for St. Joseph's Prep, who was a 4-star guy that nobody talks about. Everybody talks about Darius Farmer, which as we should. But I'm just saying, he's another kid. We don't know how he's going to look yet, and he's a high-rated kid. Darius Farmer could really be that third receiver by the end of the year. And he's not even on most people's minds. They think Huddy Tuddy. They think Preston Fox, right? So I just think there's a lot that still can play out. We need Darius Farmer to be that guy, though, and we need him to. And I don't know if he's ready yet as a freshman, but athletically, it doesn't get much more impressive. So I'm excited about to see where the guys behind Bray and Ray fall into line, because I think Huddy Tuddy is great, but he had all his production in one game pretty much, guys, or half of it. Half of his production last year came against an FCS opponent. So don't forget that either. Shawnee Warrior, thank you for the $4.99 super sticker very much, man. I really do appreciate that. It means a ton. You guys always help me out on super chats, and I do appreciate it. Anybody else, if you want your comment hired, there's over 100 people in here. If you want your comment highlighted, certainly, please don't mind if you toss something this way. My cash tag is ROCKEL 85. If you want to contribute to this channel and all, those are the 2 ways that I know of that you can do that. And thank you, Sean, on the congrats for 2K. Yeah, we've been at 2K for a couple videos now, and I haven't really said much about it, but yes, we are over 2K, which is great. Now it's on to 3K, right? So let's get there. It's going to take a little time, but I do think during the season we'll grow. So we do every season. So far, we have anyway. Close to 400 passes this year, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks, 85 yards this season for Greene. Interesting numbers there. What's the rush total, though? So 480 yards last year, and 180 was Aiden Gardner and Duquesne. Correct. Or 13K. Hey, look, I'm down for that. You already know who's counting. Huddy never dropped balls. Whenever Garrett needed to make a play, Huddy was always reliable. For instance, into Houston, into Baylor before half UNC. Absolutely. I'm not saying that he's not a good player at all. I'm just saying a guy like Darius Farmer could take his job because he's just eye test is all I'm saying. Like, I'm definitely not counting him out because he is reliable and he is a good player. And he earned that scholarship. But I'm just trying to project Darius Farmer a little bit. what's best for the team, regardless of how you feel for Huddy Tuddy, is for Darius Farmer to have the best year he can have. And because he's just so dangerous, like we're going to be, I have a feeling as long as he doesn't have a mental issue with the offense and physically doesn't get hurt, I think we're going to be talking about Darius Farmer as somebody we need to really pay before next season. So those are the main things. If all those things can come into play, I think Garrett Greene could have closer to 3,500, maybe close to maybe even 4,000 yards passing. I think the infrastructure is there for it. I really do. So you consider Jaheim White was, not just a pass catching back out of high school. That's what he did. They got him involved that way in high school at Penn almost as much as he ran the ball. He's an incredible pass-catching running back. And so is C.J. Donaldson, who played receiver his entire high school career. So I think the running backs are going to get involved. And I just think, generally speaking, I think Garrett Greene can touch 3,000 yards next year and possibly go beyond if he has, just an amazing year. So the rushing total, I think it could go down. And the passing total, I think, can go up. Or if the offensive line doesn't gel, then the opposite will happen. I think his rushing total will go up and his passing total will stay about the same or go down. But, we want him to be in the conversation for Big 12 Player of the Year. We're going to need him to get he's going to have over 40 touchdowns, so at least I do think that's going to be a mark. Cam Rising is going to be – he's going to have a lot of production over there. I mean, just imagine, what's he been in that system, 6 years now? I mean, it's insanity. He probably wakes up. He doesn't even have to study the playbook anymore, obviously. A brand new BYU coach came out today and said that Utah was going to have just all the newcomers are going to have a difficult time in the Big 12. So I thought that was interesting, talking about how BYU wasn't ready for that physicality. We'll see. I think Utah definitely is more ready than BYU was. I mean, coming from the pack with the teams that they played last year is nothing like what BYU came from, just keeping it honest. So, Pokemon Kid Entertainment wants to know WVU versus Penn State, your score prediction. I'll make that closer to the game, Pokemon. That's got to be a video in and of itself. I don't want to give it away now. And, there's so many things that can happen before then. I just don't want to commit to a score prediction because, Drew Aller could go down. God forbid. Don't want to see that happen. Or, maybe we hear a certain player is really stepping up through camp, like Darius Farmer. But if I hear anything about the wide receiver room at West Virginia, like in the fall, outside of who's already kind of mainstays, I'm going to start to get excited because I just, once we get to that 6 to 7 weapon spot to where you can really rotate in and out 6 or 7 guys consistently, because I think we're at probably 5 right now to where we can do that. If you go to Preston, and then we're looking for a second tight end, and maybe Genros becomes that guy. There's a couple things we need to happen offensively for depth. I do think the infrastructure is there on the offensive line with the guys that are younger. I do think that they have some guys that are ready to step in and be that 6th and 7th guy on the O-line. But at receiver, we're going to see where Roberts and those guys fall into play after Preston Fox because, we got a shot if we can get it 7 to 8 deep on the wide receiver side, because you really need to get – one thing we just haven't had here the last few years is – I mean, you remember a couple of years ago, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Sam, and who else was it? I'm trying to remember who else was in that room with him a couple of years back. Anyway, we had the same three receivers, same three starting receivers for all game, every game. It's just not conducive to. I mean, they get tired, man. White five recovering catches last year for 125. We could have a better team if fewer wins because of the schedule. It's possible. I think the numbers depend on what you see from other teams like defense, like Penn State. To me, is going to be a run-heavy game. Yeah. What do you mean? Let's see what you say there. Will depend on what you see from other teams' defense, like Penn State. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. I give him 3,226 and 5 picks, 800 yards, 11 touchdowns. If he does that, we'll be close to getting to Dallas. I mean, we'll be in the conversation for Dallas if he does that. I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Right around that 40 touchdown number, over 3,000 yards. And if he rushes for 800 yards on top of that, yeah, we'll have a good year. West Virginia, 31, Penn State 30. Nice. Tyler Cobb, he had 772 rushing last year. He could touch 1,000 rushing. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Daniel, is I think his passing attempts are going to go up, and just depends on how the receivers play. I mean, he could run off of that even more, like you're thinking, but I think he might have more passing attempts as well, though. WB 77, Penn State 7, 27-23. Paul, how can I get a DM to you for you to see? Well, if you have X, if you have Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, you can get a hold of me. There, or let's see, or you can get on me here. Just let me know which one you're going to try. Right, that's what I was thinking there. Winston Wright was with Brown and James. That was the year before the year I'm talking, though, because Bryce Ford Wheaton and Sam James and then one other guy played almost every snap the year after that. Pretty much. All I want for Christmas is a championship. Let's go Mountaineers. Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah, Ashanti Warrior, Rodney Gallagher absolutely could factor in. I got to laugh at this really quick. I do sometimes, Mark. I'll check it tonight, man. I did check it a couple times, Mark, like once or twice. I did it once on the stream for you. But I do need to check it more. You're right. I check it like once a week sometimes if I'm lucky. But as far as Rodney G goes, I just got to see it. And I should have mentioned him earlier. I didn't mean to forget about him. I think he's got a shot to be great. I really do. So, rooting hard for Rodney Gallagher. But, man, I just some of the stuff I've been told by players and stuff is that he is only, I have no doubt about him as far as uh, uh, ability as far as with the ball on his hands. It's just how much is Sean Ryan. Great call. Yeah, see, I even take days to answer Sean. Bryce Fort Wheaton, Sam James, and Caden Prather. That's the one. Okay, Pokemon, good to see you, brother. I'm going to roll too, guys. Sorry, my internet's going out on me here. I don't know what's going on. So sorry about this, guys. Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. Until then, keep coming back. Don't forget to like and subscribe in the video. This episode is over, and I'm out, guys.